think we're live. We should be gearing up here. Background music should be muted because I can't have you all hearing that. Because my ass will get in trouble over that. Alright. Just give it a minute here. Let some people try to squeak in. Hope everybody's doing okay. It is New Year's Day. Oh my goodness. Chungus is finished. We finished Chungus last night. So exciting. Rawr. His little ears, they're very tiny. I probably should have put them up higher, but then I didn't want them that close to his eyes. There's a better picture of him on the Kofi and the Instagram. I'll keep him close at hand if anybody wants to see a better look at him in a little bit. Do 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 do. Man, things are rocking and rolling, getting off to an interesting start here for the new year. Earthquakes in California, earthquakes in Japan, all kinds of shit going on. Okay, so we are going to bust out our gouache paint here that was donated by K-Vamp of Esper Cat Studios, and we do greatly appreciate the donation off of our wish list. I'm not sure if I put the link down below. I think I did. If not, it might pop up every so often in the chat. And I'm excited to try these because the only other gouache I've had was the jelly gouache, and I liked it, but it was a bit of a pain in the ass to make sure it didn't dry out, as it tended to do on me. So we have all kinds of colors here. So we've got 60 colors, I believe. It kind of reminds me of the same shades from their acrylic paint. I don't know if they're all the same, but we do have quite a color selection here. This is all one side of the box. Oh, get the last tray here. So we have to figure out what colors we want to use. Ooh. Ooh. These are pearl. Oh, that's fun. Oh, that is very fun. Oh, these are also very cold. Oh, these are pearl too. Oh, wow. That is fun. Okay. And then we're still not stable on our connection. Of course we're not. So we've got two whites. We've got a titanium white and I think like a mixy white. And we've got a whole range of like yellows and oranges. And we haven't swatched these yet. And I'm beginning to think maybe we should have, because for something called peach red, that's very fuchsia. So I don't know what that's about. Okay, cool. Oh, these guys got in here backwards. What's that about? Okay, so this is our violet, our Prussian blue, our ultramarine blue, sky blue, ice blue and a Aegean blue. Nice. Alright, well, we need to figure out what colors we want to start off with. And I'm thinking we're going to start off with like a green that will probably end up watering down a little bit. Let me put our pearlized colors back in the box here. We might bust them out later. Now, we're probably not going to be finishing this today. Just a heads up on that. I think I'm going to start out with this sagey green. I need some kind of brush here. Some kind of brush. I don't know what brush I want to go for yet. How about you? No, we haven't used you yet. I wanted the one that looked like I had... Well, you know what? Let's go with this guy to start with. We have busted you out before. Alright, so this is just some flamingos and flowers. The flamingos are kind of styled after the emotes. Or the, not necessarily emote, but the little icon. I don't know, I guess it is some of the emotes. And we've got our icon in the bottom of the screen down here. So. Alright. I'm going to use a whole lot to start with. Okay, so I just have a palette with some wells in it. That's a nice kind of light green here. Sorry, I just wanted to grab some water here. So I'm going to start out with pretty watered down amount of this shade just to get some color figured out here. This might be kind of light for the background. Actually, yeah, that might be kind of light for the background. Shit. Yeah, you know what? I still want to use that color very much. But let's go ahead and... Do we have a dark green? We have a deep green. Or we have a viridian green. Let's go with deep green. And... Alright, so that's going to be our background. For, what we got going on back in there. So this is on watercolor paper. Just Canson watercolor paper that I had picked up off of Amazon. Nothing real fancy. In fact, I think it might have been on sale when I had picked it up. then I just used a number 2 pencil. Now I did use a lot of stencils on this, and there's nothing wrong with using stencils. And some aspects I took from the stencils that I liked. Like, you may never find the absolute perfect stencil that you are looking for. But if you see parts of a stencil that you like, then sure, go ahead and grab those elements off of there. And that should be more than fine, because you're still making it your own piece. Now this background color, this first bit of it, is going to be a little bit splotchy and a little bit transparent. I am just trying to get the color established down in here. So I can figure out how I want to approach everything. Apparently I'm finding all of the fuzz that decided to make its way onto here. So yeah, it was just a number 2 pencil, and this was actually a darker line setup, and it's actually a little bit darker than I necessarily would do, but I've got it a little bit darker so that the camera is going to pick it up. And I just have it taped down to a board. I'm actually using like a glass cutting board, or like a glass counter protector. I guess it'd be like a glass cutting board. No idea where we got it from. It was just kind of laying around in the house. But I mean, like a big art board or a plastic clipboard, or, you know, even just your desktop surface is fine. You don't necessarily have to tape it down. I just do. So I find it keeps the corners from getting too silly. And then we get that nice clean border as well, which can be helpful. And I like also taping it to something else, so that way if I need to stop for the day or walk away, or something else needs my attention, or I'm waiting for this to dry, I can pick it up and sit it to the side while I am awaiting. And then my entire surface isn't being held hostage, so to speak, by the piece of artwork. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just looking at fishy.
Oh. So I did have a couple of moments last night where I started to do something and I was like, no, 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 I don't like that. And so then I was trying to remove it. So there might be a little weirdness with the lines in here and some spots. And that's okay. Because we will get that sorted out. As we go. Got a couple of more intricate spots than I realized. That's all right. Yeah, so hope everybody's having a good start to their New Year's. Hopefully none of you had to recover from any hangovers this morning. It was actually fairly calm here last night. I was surprised when people started asking about fireworks, and then one dude that works for the city was like, no, they're not allowed. And then some people were like, oh, well, you know, people are going to set them off anyway. We had one person that was setting off something at like a little after 9. And that went on for like maybe a half an hour. And they were very tame, what they were. And then it stopped. So I don't know if they got paid a popo visit and were told to stop, or if not that many people were home, or people just went to bed early, because a lot of people had to work today. New Year's isn't really the type of holiday like Christmas or Thanksgiving is. Like, there was still a fair number of people working. In fact, they were supposed to pick our trash up according to the holiday schedule, unless it was misrepresented on the website again like it was for Christmas, because they still haven't picked it up. And I haven't even heard any trash trucks going around or seen any. And I thought it was odd, unless they meant all of it was going to be picked up tomorrow. The way it was spaced on the website was very strange. And I'm like, it seems kind of odd that they're going to make the trash people work on New Year's Day for the city. I didn't think they would. We'll just leave it out. And we'll see if it ends up being today or tomorrow. But I mean, it's already after 12. We're usually one of the first pickups in the day. So I do find this a little strange. To not have even noticed any driving by. So like I said, this first layer is going to be a little bit splotchy, and that's fine. I'm just trying to get our background color established. And then once we get further along, we will go over that with like a more final layer. But hope everyone in Japan's okay. Some of the damaged pictures were a little concerning. Felt very reminiscent of when was that last one that was real bad? Was that 2015 or 2011? The one that fucked the nuclear plant? So it kind of reminded me of. Damage wasn't quite as bad that I was seeing, but you know, when those tsunami alarms started going off, everybody had to be having all kinds of... Cat, what are you doing? I can hear you doing something. Cal? Cal, buddy, scratching the floor next to the box isn't going to make the box open. Oh, these cats are not the brightest. It would seem. Or he does it on purpose to make noise.
You know what he's like.
Once he gets it in his head that he wants something.
You know he taps the
cabinet,
the
yeah.
in the bathroom at night for fun, right?
No, he's trying to get in it.
No, because he's fully capable of getting into it. No, he does it for fun. He's a little bastard.
Well, I'm not arguing the bastard part. Because he definitely is. Alright, so. Cal. Buddy. Cal, buddy. Could we maybe not? Oh, all of the noises today. There was somebody down in the car wash near our house with some kind of big vehicle or something. And the brick sides of the car wash were making it just amplify so much louder than it needed to be. And right before that, our neighbor had come out and started his truck, and then that was like making the whole house hum. But he didn't actually idle that long, which surprised me. And then he was on his way, and then, bless you, bless you, because I had looked outside to see if he was like still waiting to pull out or something when the noise was getting really super obnoxious. And I'm like, oh, he left. And then I went and said to the husband, I said, what is that noise? And he goes, it's the neighbor. I'm like, no, he left. And then it did stop for like 10 minutes, and then it started again, and then just went for like another 20 while I was setting up. I was like, oh my god. Why? Hey, Cow. It's all good, bud. There's like nothing under that box for you to have. Hey, Cow, if I give you that box, will you stop? I took it away and closed it the one night because we were getting ready for bed and they were all starting to like scratch around in the bottom of it, and I was like, oh no. What we're not doing is we're trying to sleep is this. I do apologize if my head's in the shot. I don't think it is. So yeah, I'm just kind of establishing our background color here at the moment. Probably should have did the background color in the middle first, but a little late for that now. So it's kind of like flowers ringing the two flamingos here. So yeah, I know that the color is a little inconsistent, but that's me. 100%. Because of how much water I'm putting in here and there. Like I said, we will darken that up more evenly as we go here. So this little leafy guy is sort of our cutoff for inside the ring and outside the ring. And I just traced a plate to establish where I wanted that to be. So I'm just trying to go a little bit quick. A little bit quick. I don't want to go too quick because then I'll get sloppy. Hold on, I gotta do something with this cat. Hi, buddy. There. Is that what you wanted? You wanted to sit in the box in the sun? Is that what you wanted? Must have been. Sorry, the scratching was getting to me. That's all I could hear. That seems to have appeased his Lord Countess. So this will end up covering our little stems that I have coming off of these guys, but that's okay, because we can put those back in. So that's not that big of a problem. Oh, he did come over. I didn't hear his feet.
It's grr o'clock.
Come on, Mose.
Oh, stretches in the sun. Oh, old man stretches. Come on, old man stretches.
Yeah, I'm just gonna paint over our stems here, because that's fine. We can reestablish those later. Not a huge deal right now. Oh, Kofi Page is here. Welcome, Kofi Page. Sorry, I had to change something. Did you check on the pot?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Alright. That made Cal happy. And he is tucking in for a nap. And anything that keeps that boy out of trouble, we are all for. So after I get this put in, what was that?
Mobile got a drink.
Oh. Then we will go on to the background in the middle, and then we'll start figuring out our colors for everything else, which I haven't done yet. Figure we'll see what strikes us. And I did modify a couple of these stencils. Like after I put them down, I added some extra lines here and there, just to get them to suit our needs. This brush isn't doing too bad. It's not being real streaky. So that's good. At least at the moment it's not. I have a couple of other brush options. If this one decides to start pitching a fit here. Feels nice to be painting again. I used to do a lot more painting. I still like my needle felting, but it's nice to change things up every so often. And we needed a break after Chungus anyway. My shoulder was, well, both shoulders actually last night were very sore. That last bit of Chungus was a little difficult in some spots. Getting all that fluff attached. We will get this bit in here. Good thing is that by the time we get our background on the green done, and then get our middle done, by the time we come back to the back, if we have time to do that today, should be dry. Now, I like to build my layers up on this. It's just how I like to do it. So, or at least that's how I liked the final look of it when I was using the jelly gouache. I got some really nice effects with it. It took me a little bit, but I loved the velvety kind of, didn't feel velvety, but it looked it. Velvety matte look of it. It does take a minute to get that established for me. And at least this way, with me doing the light pass first, it does give me a chance to figure out if I need to change the color. And it's not so dark that we shouldn't be too fucked if I decide to change a color. Because this isn't acrylic gouache, so it can be, in theory, reactivated even on the paper a little bit. So it's kind of like watercolor, and you can use it real transparent, or not transparent, real watered down, like watercolor, in places if you want. But it's also a lot more opaque than watercolor. And the brush seems to be treating our paper fairly well. Now I'm putting this down on dry paper. I could have wet the background a bit before I put it on, but I also figured it would probably dry before I got to all of it. And the other layers are going to be dry anyway. So in the end, it probably didn't matter all that much for this. You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Has been kind of pulled his back this morning. From just existing. Got a little confused there for a second. I'm like, what's this nub sticking up? Right. Now I know what the nub is. Now, if you're having trouble reaching part of your paper, turn your paper. No one said you can't turn your paper. In fact, I think I'm going to turn mine. So it's gonna look upside down for a minute. In fact, there we go. Do that. And we can see a little bit better. For everyone involved. Looks like our sizing is still okay in this paper. Not that it matters as much with the gouache. But I've had this pad for a while, so it's good to see that it's still hanging in there with us. Hi, Momo, what's up? What's the matter? Did you not get it ready? What can I do for you? Did Daddy not fix it? What's the matter? Hi. Hi, buddy. I have a Momo. I don't know why I have a Momo, but I have a Momo. What's up? What's the matter? Is your blankets all messed up?
Yeah, it kind of looks like it. You want Daddy fix it? You want Daddy fix it?
Daddy can't fix it if you jump in it, buddy. I don't know if he thinks I always have food.
No, this seems like a pretty solid fix-it moment. I think his blankies get lumpy under him and then he gets fixed. There you go.
Well, he got his goodie, right?
Yeah. Do I look like a monster?
Sometimes you forget, so don't say that. Don't act like you've never forgotten. A couple days ago, you completely forgot. Now, I did realize when I was pulling up the extra graphite with my kneaded eraser before we got started, I did this before stream, I didn't add the two little poofy flowers here. I decided to let it go and not do those since this was at the top. I figured it would probably be alright. Didn't necessarily need to be at the top. That's a very loud thud. Not sure if that was the mother-in-law and her sister doing something or if that was the neighbor. So we ended up swapping the tank the beta was in. Husband had a second one that he had picked up as an emergency quarantine tank for the crabs. So we don't know if fish had just needed a water change or what. But we also think he's having trouble seeing. And we don't know how old he was when we got him either. So he's looking a little better today. But we'll see. All right. So I'm liking this stuff. It seems a little bit easier than the jelly. One of the things I didn't like about the jelly gouache was the cups that it came in. I know that's the whole point, but it got real how to word this. You had to be extra careful with how you picked up your colors. You either needed to like pull some color out onto a different palette and mix from that, and if that got dirty then fine, whatever. At least your cup was still not contaminated with other colors, or you had to clean your cup, and either way you were gonna lose paint. So it was kind of annoying from that aspect. I tended to pull the paint out on a separate palette when I could. And I guess this is kind of sort of the same thing as that. But at least the tubes are closed on this. I don't have to worry about constantly checking in on them and making sure that they're not drying out on me while I'm not using them, because that was a trial and a half. To deal with. And we've got all these other colors we can just pull from, which will save quite a bit of time in trying to mix the right color. I know some people are adamant sticklers about needing to mix, and some people call other people lazy for not mixing their colors. You know what? Sometimes you just want the color. Sometimes you don't want to have to mix it all. Meow, why are you meow? Why'd you get out of your box? I went to all that trouble to give you that box back. Where are you even? I heard him meow and I have no idea where he's at. Except I know he's not in the box. I know that much. Not sure if he's bothering the husband or if he's in the window. Oh, he is bothering you?
Yeah.
That's his other favorite place to be. But you know what? I like having the color selection here. I like being able to just grab the color and go without being like a master color mixer. I don't need to be a master color mixer. And that's okay. I think some people get so caught up in it has to be this way. Well, I mean, if that's the way you're supposed to use the supply, that's one thing. But even so, if you've found a way that's not dangerous and is safe to use that supply, be like, hey, I found a different way that works better for me. Because all of our brains work differently, right? So one way might work better for one person than another. What's he trying to do?
He's acting like he wants to cuddle in my house coat, but
Every time you've done that, he can't get comfy, and then he gets right back out. He, like, briefly was a cow kangaroo for a little bit, and then...
Hi, how's that? Does that make you happy?
I guess the sun moved, so he got mad. Alrighty. Again, this is just the background color. Just the background pass. I know it's splotchy. It's gonna be splotchy to start with. That's how I wanted it to be on the first pass. Like, down here was too dark for pass one. That I didn't want quite that dark that quickly. But it did give me an idea for how it was going to look when we fully get there.
Dude, I already tried. You got out.
I wonder if he has food. Okay. This filled in here. Alright. So I don't really know what colors I'm going to make our flowers just yet. Kind of figured we would figure that out as we go to do them. Then I kind of have to figure out if I want like this flower petal overlapping or if I want it under, and I think I want it overlapping there. Alrighty, we'll get this section filled in, and then we will grab, got a spot of something on there, no idea what. Hopefully that won't be an issue later. We will see. Kofi Bot's having fun in the chat. I'm just glad we managed to get Chungus done before the year ended. That is helpful. Extremely helpful. If I hadn't taken a day or two to work on editing on the chicken, I probably would have had him done sooner, potentially. All right, so there's that. Mama, what's the matter? What is the matter? Buddy, dinner's not going to be ready for a while. What's wrong? Are you not satisfied with your goodie? Okay. So, now I have to figure out what color we want for our background of the inside. I know it looks a little messy at the moment. I kind of like this. Let me see. Do I really like this? Kind of dark. The whole thing's gonna be kind of dark, so if I do that, let me pop you back down in there. Let me see, what's our other blue options here? Have to dig out the tray. Never ending trays. Okay. Let's see it. See if we can find something from this tray. Ah, shit. There we go. Alright, so ice blue's a little light. Might be a little too light. Well, it sounds silly, but might be a little too light. Sky blue has potential. Let me look at Aegean. I really should have swatched these. That will be a little bit dark. Maybe we can lighten the Aegean. Or maybe the ultramarine. Prussian's gonna be very dark. Yeah, that's almost like a purpley blue in this set. So tell you what if we get a little bit of, damn it, something fell. That's what that was about. Get a little bit of this Aegean blue, which kind of feels more like of a slaty blue, really. And then we get a little bit of our, that was probably too much, ice blue. Alright. Now just gonna clean up the little bit of water I had left in there. Okay. I'm just getting some clean water in the palette. Alright. And I'm just taking some water. I'm just going to wet this part. While trying to stay within my lines. So we're probably going to lose those lines here. As we go. So kind of like a wet on wet for watercolor. Just because I've got a lot of intricate stuff in here. I just want to see if that's gonna help with that. It might not. We will see. How we can get that to behave. If it doesn't really do what I want it to do, then that's fine. Not a huge deal. I'm just pulling a little bit of that water because that got a little too much water in that spot. Okay, I probably should have mixed my color here first. Probably. Hey Zorts, Happy New Year. Thank you for the bits. Appreciate that. Hope all is well today. Momo, what is the matter? Do you really have to pee-pee again? Did you not pee?
No, he peed. No, you're done. You're done. Do you need Daddy fix it?
You just fixed it.
Yeah, but it already looks like kind of a mess again. Do I need to fix it? No, then you're all done. Cow. Oh my god. Let's go. Go.
They're all bugging Russell right now.
Holy shit.
Everybody's like, hey, hey, hey. It needs to be just a little bit more. Alright. The only problem with mixing that is that now I've gotta... Okay, so that didn't stay wet long enough. It kinda did up here. It's kinda flowing out to where it's wet, but the rest of it got dry while I was mixing there. So Zort says, Happy New Year to you, sir. Husband?
Yeah, no.
I didn't know if you heard me.
No, I saw it.
So how...
As you can see, Nisey is using her Christmas gouache.
Yes. So we got Chungus all done.
I thought you said you were going to erase all those lines.
No, I wasn't erasing all of them. I was lightening them. Ah. So I took the kneaded eraser and pulled up some of the heavier amount of graphite that was on there. Because I was afraid it was going to bleed in to the paint like you have to do with watercolor. Sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't with gouache. It depends on what you're doing. With it. So how are things for you today? Take it you have to work today? Or are you off today? You're working tonight? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do work on New Year's Day. I don't understand our city, though, because they had posted for Thanksgiving week that they weren't picking up recycling, and I was like, oh, okay. Because they were doubling up trash routes or something. I was like, alright. And then for Christmas, the website for the city had, like, the same thing. Like, if your trash days are this day and this day, these two routes are getting picked up on this day, no recycling this week. And it's like, oh, okay. And then they picked up recycling on top of it. And I was like, you guys said you weren't picking up recycling. Like, a lot of people were mad. And then they're like, well, no, their Facebook post said this. And it's like, the website said this that has the holiday schedule on it. You guys just can't make it up as you go. If you're going to change it in one place, you need to change it in both. Because not everybody sees the post on Facebook. Stuff gets lost. And the website post said that they were picking up trash today, if I'm reading it correctly. The way it was spaced, it kind of was weird, unless they meant, like, it was like Monday and, is it Monday and, maybe it was tomorrow, and I misread it. But it was like Monday and Tuesday, or Monday's routes will be picked up. And then it had Friday's route only in bold letters picked up on the 2nd. And I'm like, well, is that just Friday's route that you're picking up on the 2nd? That's really strange. The way it was placed and spaced on the site didn't make any sense. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't see any Facebook post about it at all. They made some kind of silly post about New Year's. And nothing about the trash and recycling. And I'm like, I don't know. So we put ours out and haven't seen a single trash truck. So I'm like, am I not reading this right? Or did they post it stupid? I don't know. Kind of like the mix of those two colors now that those are in there. I just have to try to get that color mixed again. And find my lines here. So this is just the background color work. This is not the final layer of this or the green. I know the green is splotchy and uneven. It's like that on purpose. It was just to kind of get my color established so I could see if I liked it being that dark. And I think I do. But yes, we got the chungus done. There's little cat ears and little grass hanging out of his mouth and little wiggle eyes. Rawr. So Chungosaurus coming in. To be your 2024 guardian. 2024, year of the Chungus. Bringing you good luck and prosperity. Might as well, right? Don't see it hurt nothing. It was actually remarkably quiet for fireworks last night. I didn't even hear anybody shooting off their guns. I was surprised. It's usually a thing around here. And it didn't happen last night. I was like, interesting. Either they all had to work today and passed out before bed, or before midnight, or chose to behave themselves, or they weren't home. Some people might have gone to parties. It's been so sad this past week as we've been taking our walks and seeing the Christmas lights slowly getting turned off, and it's like, no. It made our night walks so much more interesting and less depressing. Seeing a little bit of color in the world and bright blinky lights. Adding some color to the otherwise dark and drab landscape. It was so sad. The one house had like so many inflatables. You couldn't hardly see an inch of their grass. They had so many. And then the one night we came by and they were all turned off and deflated and laying in piles on the ground. It just looked like somebody came in and massacred them. I was like, no, inflatables down. Oh no. And then the next night they were all packed up and gone. I think it was like the day after Christmas or something. They were all packed up. I was like, really? It's like, man, you guys took a lot longer taking your Halloween decorations down. That was an awfully quick turnaround. It was rather surprising. We need to go up to the cemetery and get the tree. And bag that and get that put out in the shed. Because I think I can salvage it for next year. Because it seemed to survive the rainy winter pretty well. And the solar lights we put on it actually did fairly well, considering they were a cheap unknown from Amazon. We didn't know how well they were going to hold up. You never know with the solar lights. Though I'm really mad. My jellyfish light is making a grinding noise. We just got it. It's has like an air pump in it that like blows bubbles up that makes the jellyfish move in it, and that's grinding. Like making a really loud vibrating noise. And I was like, damn it. I loved this thing. It was what I was using as my nightlight. So I can see when the animals are getting up to fuckery. So it's not quite so plunged into darkness in here. Because this room feels kind of cavernous in the pitch black. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, it was a cheap light. It was like 15 bucks, I think, if that. And Russell's like, well, I mean, it did have the air thingy in there, and that's what sounds like being silly. It's like making a really loud, grinding, vibrating noise that we cannot sleep with it doing that. So he found a different ceiling projection light that might work. So we're gonna see if that works out okay. And he's so cute. He got us all matching flamingo like button-up overshirts for when we're in Key West to take photos with at the butterfly place. They were just cheap overshirts, so if they don't really fit that well, it's okay. I'm like, you're gonna walk around in a pink flamingo shirt in Key West for me? And it was your idea? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm fine with it. I was like, aw. So that's exciting. It should be here before we leave. Again, I'm just working on getting a quick, semi-quick background color put in place here. Just so it's not quite so much white that we're looking at as well. And then after I get the flowers done, come back in with a better non-quick run of this color. So we won't be finishing this today, more than likely. This put in, but we're at least going to make a good dent on it. But I am liking these paints a fair bit. They don't feel too much different than the jelly gouache, but they are a little bit easier. They're not like as slimy to mix. What is the matter, my guy? Something's wrong. You're upset about something. Do I need to take you out? You're just standing there waiting. Alright, Momo, give me 1 second. I gotta find shoes. And I need to get my coat. But I want to get the paint out of this brush first. So we're going to have to do a puppy potty break. I should probably get up and stretch anyway. Alright, so give me 1 minute, you guys. Just don't want anything drying in there. I've got my paint towel right there. That's what I'm wiping that on. Alright, I'll be right back. Yes, art! I'm back. Sorry, doggo wanted to potty. Yes, we are doing all of the arty things. Doing our kind of a quick pass on our base colors here. Just getting them established before I start coming in with our thicker final pass on the certain sections. The bigger background sections I wanted to do kind of like a, not necessarily a wash, a little bit thicker than a wash, but something along those lines. Or in the words of your people, Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year's. Hope everybody's New Year's getting off to an alright start. I'm going to turn this. So I can see what we're doing. Sorry we're upside down at the moment, but it's easier for me to see. And that way my arm's not laying in the middle of everything, which is helpful to not get paint everywhere. So this is mostly stencils that we compound together in our own sort of design here. I was like, well, I've got all these flower stencils that I had picked up around my birthday. So I was like, why not? And it'll make it go a little bit faster for me to put something together. And so the Mingos, the world is upside down. The Mingos in the middle. They are basically the same as our emotes, our emote bases. I was like, we might as well do that. So I tried drawing in one, and one would have fit, and I was like, you know what? I'm really bad at drawing the same thing mirrored. Like, really bad. So I was like, let's just grab the emote base. And we'll just use that. Because why not? We have it. Might as well. And then this quick pass on the two background colors will help eat up all of this white background. So we can see what the heck we're doing. So hope everybody's off to a good New Year's start. Hopefully your New Year's was uneventful in a good way. Now, all the pencil lines, I got confused for a second. I was like, where am I painting? So it's also to keep me from getting too confused Momo, you're not getting anything else. You just went out and peed. Go lay down, bud. We're all done for now.
You're all done. Go.
You just went pee-pee.
I don't have anything for you.
I think he smells dinner cooking. So he thinks we have food. And I don't have anything to give you, buddy. I can give you some crunchies. But you never eat them. Are you that hungry? I had stopped giving him dry crunchies all the time because he wasn't eating them. And they were just going icky. And Zuzu will eat them sometimes. No idea what his deal is today. The only thing I can think of is that he smells dinner cooking and he doesn't believe that we don't have food because he doesn't understand that it's not done yet. And he's the one that brought me back in, so I was giving him a minute to pee. Your dog's and you finished watching Die Hard? Nice. We didn't really do anything. We were sitting here. I was working on getting... I'd finished Chungus, and then I was working on getting the, this thing put together. And figuring out how I wanted to do it. Like, that's what our evening entailed. I was like, oh, it's midnight when his alarm went off for his medication. I was like, Happy New Year. He's like, yeah, Happy New Year. But nobody, set off an abundance of fireworks, which I was expecting. After the posts people were making on one of our town Facebook pages. A dude that either still works for the city or just retired recently or something was like, no, no, no. That's not allowed for New Year's. Apparently there's a couple of towns around here that do allow fireworks to be set off. We are not one of them. But people do what they want anyway. And that's like never stopped them before. So I was kind of surprised, like only one person set off a couple of firecrackers or something, and there wasn't that many. Like they were kind of spaced out. It was like something. It was like really slow. And that was at like 9:20 or something. Didn't hear a peep out of anybody at midnight. I think there might have been like 2 or 3 firecrackers, now I'm thinking about it, around 12:30. Yeah, you know what, there was, because I was like, oh, somebody might have fallen asleep and woke up late. But, or they had just gotten home or something. Because I thought it was funny that it was at 12:30. You watch a movie a night with your dogs and you started watching Die Hard on Christmas Day and it took a day break to watch Meg 2. Never saw those, the Meg movies.
Doesn't strike me as the kind of thing you would watch anyway.
No, probably not. I don't know the last movie I actually watched. What was it? What did we watch? Probably Muppet Christmas Carol. 'Cause, 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 ' kind of wanting to watch some either Totoro or some Studio Ghibli. Maybe Spirited Away. I haven't watched that in a while. And you also watched Rebel Moon. The first Meg was good, the second one wasn't so great. I will take your word for it. Keep seeing all these posts on Twitter the past couple of days. Oh, with a gift, post the first movie you ever watched in theaters or something. And I was like, huh? And I had to actually stop and think about that. I'm like, what was the first movie I ever saw in theaters? That was a long time ago. And I don't do the movie theater all that much. It bothers me. I always have a migraine when I come out of it. Every time. Never seems to fail. And I think the first movie I ever saw in theaters, if I'm remembering correctly, was Oliver and Company. I think. It was either Oliver and Company or The Little Mermaid. And I can't remember which one it was. But I'm seeing people post like all these like hardcore movies. I'm like, that was really the first movie you saw in theater? Really? The first movie I ever saw in theaters was Wolfen. Second movie I ever saw was Star Wars, before it was renamed to A New Hope. I don't know. What was your first movie you ever saw in theater?
Oh, hell, I don't know. Probably a Disney movie of some sort.
Yeah, we really didn't go to the movies very often. I'm trying to think. That might have been like the only movie I saw little. One of those two. Because it wasn't like super expensive then like it is now, but it was still expensive. And we didn't really have the money for that. I have seen very few movies in the theater, because like I said, they bother me. And I try not to inflict more pain on myself than absolutely necessary, unless it's something I really, 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 really want to see. I think I remember seeing original Beauty and the Beast, the first Disney version. I think I remember seeing that in theaters. I was supposed to see it when it went to IMAX, and we never got there. I don't think I saw the live action Beauty and the Beast in theaters. I think we saw that when it came out for home. I remember my brother and his girlfriend at the time taking me to see, or they went to see Jurassic Park, and I got drug along with them. Because I think he was babysitting me or something. He's like, oh, we're going to go see this. And I spent like 2/3 of the movie with my face in my hands. Because I was scared. I was like, why are we watching this? I don't think I was old enough to even really supposed to be in there, to be perfectly honest. But then again, I also have mixed feelings about the flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. Those terrify me. For the first 2 weeks it was called Star Wars, and then they renamed it to Star Wars A New Hope. IMAX is okay. It fails to actual comparison to actual drive-in. I've never been to a drive-in. IMAX, I have a hard time watching because of my glasses. And trying to do the 3D glasses over my glasses is never good. And then trying to watch it without the 3D glasses is horrible. And then trying to watch it without my glasses, everything's blurry. So, like, I just really, really, really wanted to try watching that one movie in IMAX, and it's probably for the best that I wasn't able to go after all, but I was still bummed about it at the time. And I remember getting drugged to a couple of movies, like when I was a teenager. Don't remember what they were, though. Oh, you know what? One of them might have been Dumb and Dumber. I think another one might have been, oh. It was like such a bimbo-y movie. Was it Romy and Michelle's high school reunion or some shit? I got drugged to go see that by a couple of people, and I'm like, this is kind of making my brain melt. Not in a good way. And I remember we went to go see one of the Batman movies, I think, when I came down here for a visit one time. Might have been Dark Knight. Maybe. Maybe? No. Maybe it wasn't a visit. Maybe one of Russell's friends that wasn't a friend might have taken us to see that. Russell swears his friend was flirting with me. And I think the friend admitted to it too, which I found was really odd. I'm like, why? Like, I wasn't sure if something was going on because one of my roommate's boyfriends was a very people person, so I was thinking, well, is this guy just being, like, friendly? I found it odd that he would try to flirt with me when he had never met me before.
Well, he was not a good person, as I found out eventually.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got our background colors in place. And they do dry a little bit darker, well, a little bit differently. So this is what it looked like wet. And I like that color combo. That the Aegean and the ice blue mixed together. So I'm just gonna get the fuzz out of my brush that I picked up from somewhere. Oh, maybe it's in this water. Oh yeah, where'd all this fuzz come from? There's all kinds of fuzz in that water. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna flip this guy back around. But yeah, the older I got, the more movies were becoming painful. to watch. So it's like physically painful. So I was like, yeah, probably take and leave this. So I don't know what color this is actually going to look like here. It's interesting. Alright, so this is blush pink. What's peach look like? Is it like really... It's kind of like a light pink. Not as orangey as I expected it to be, but that's okay. Alright, let me get that little bit of water out of there. Eyedropper. Just trying to keep a little bit of clean water going for us here. Alright. So I'm gonna get a little bit of our pink here. Now you can use this straight, but usually it gets watered down a little bit. Usually. We didn't do anything. I had some cheese and crackers and had my sparkling apple cider. And finished Chungus. We had our game night with my mom last night. We just basically did like house things. We had some house chores that had to get done. So we didn't really do a whole lot last night. Oh, right, that wasn't supposed to go to the edge there. Well, it is now. I thought that looked funny. I lost one of the lines that was in there. That's okay. Not a huge problem. And in fact, we can more than likely fix that up. So this is supposed to be more opaque than watercolor, and it is to a degree, but I do have it a little bit watered down, so we're gonna see some of our pencil lines through it at the moment. And that's okay for the moment. We will get that sorted. So, did anybody make any New Year's resolutions? Ours is just to survive the next year. And hopefully, it won't be as dog shit as the last year was. The year of the Chungosaur will hopefully be so much better. Hopefully. Like I was saying, it'll probably take a couple of coats here to get to where I want it to be. That's okay, because it's on our watercolor paper, so it's not going to take all that long to dry here. So I did pull out a little bit of that peachy, pinky color. And we might mix a little bit of that in here. In a little bit. So we do have, here's a live shot of Chungus. Rawr. There are some better shots of him on the socially places, the Instagram, the Twitter, and the Kofi. Because he was so big, he was kind of hard to get in the camera fully, and I couldn't get a good angle to use the live cam to get a good shot of him, so we had to take some pictures separately. So it kind of came over our leaf line there just a little bit. That's okay. We can clean that up when we come back in and do the leaf. So you can see the pencil line a little bit still. New Year's resolution is to drink coffee and to release Overtune next month. Nice. Good luck. Hope everything goes smoothly. Okay, so there's one pass. On that Mingo. So hopefully everything goes smoothly. With that. Hoping things start to calm down for those in Japan soon. I never did see how bad the tsunami was today. I saw that they had the tsunami warning, and I saw one report that said that there was some minor flooding, but I didn't see if it had gotten any worse than that. Because I was about to go live when I started seeing stuff about that. I was like, oh shit. Can you check the stove in a few minutes?
Yeah.
And then hopefully by August the RTS will be done too. Interesting. Well, hopefully that all goes smoothly and according to plan for you. I know the husband's gonna try to get back to working on his coding stuff soon that he's trying to learn. I don't know when that's gonna be though, because we kind of have a busy little bit here. He has to go and do some stuff tomorrow. It shouldn't take too long.
Which day do I have to do tomorrow?
I thought you were going to the bank tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
The bank and the water bills gotta get paid tomorrow. And then Wednesday, the car has to get work done. We have a few things that have to be looked at on that before we can leave. We need to get the brakes, at least some of the brake pads replaced, we think. They've been getting a little squeaky when we're first getting going. And they were not quite there when we were there last time. Like they had said to his mom when she had taken the car in to get it serviced a couple of months before that. They gave her this whole huge list of shit that needed to be done. And then when we had the ability to get some of that done in either, I think, April or May, we're like, okay, well, we can't do all of it today, but let's do the fluid and the basic oil change, and we want to replace 2 of the tires. And we were originally thinking of doing all 4, but Russell's like, let's start with the... No, we were going to do all 4. And they're like, the last time we were here, this is something about our brakes. And so the person that was doing the servicing went over the car, and they're like, okay, well, we replaced the transmission fluid and all that. Did the oil change. That was fine. They're like, we looked at your tires, and you really only need 2 replaced right now. The other 2 will need to be replaced soon, but they don't need to be done yet. There's still some wear on them. And we're like, really? And they're like, yeah. And we're like, okay. And then we're like, okay, well, what's the deal with the brakes? They're like, there's still some life on these brake pads. They're like, you don't really need to do this yet. So we're like, well, what the fuck? Did they just think his mom was gonna be a pushover? Or was this person like trying to pull something and get us to do more work, or get her to do more work than needed to be done? When we take the same car in and he drops it off, they're telling him something completely different. So I was like, fascinating. So we're not gonna have her take the car in anymore. Because it's like, what you guys trying to do here? Alright, I'm just getting a little bit more pink here. Gonna do a slightly thicker amount. Slightly thicker amount. Alright, speaking of work, you gotta get some work done. I'm glad you're enjoying the art stuff. Yes, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Good luck with your game. Thanks for stopping in, and thank you for the paint again. Very much. Happy New Year. And thank you again. Alright, so I'm coming in to do slightly smoother run on this guy. I don't know what time it is. Okay. So I'm getting this all filled in here. So we still have a little bit of that pencil line being a little bit stubborn. The only thing with this stuff is, well, even with the acrylic paint, when it was wet. I had a little bit of a glare. So I have to kind of change the angle that I'm looking at it from. I think I might be okay with that pencil line being there. We still have our pens. I don't know if our pens are gonna reactivate this. There's a chance that they might. There's a very strong chance that they might. We will figure that out though. Alright, so that's not too bad there. I'll probably grab this peach. And see about mixing a little bit of that in. So how's everybody's Monday going? Because it is Monday here. Got a little sloppy there. Sorry, I thought something flashed on one of my screens. And I got very confused. Because I saw like light change. Briefly. It's kind of like, huh? Oh, what just happened? Okay, so that's that pass. I'm gonna need a little bit more of this pink. Because I'd rather use it in little bits than put out more than I'm gonna need. Our second coat is drying on that part. Come back in. And we'll work on this guy. So when we get this guy done, then we'll move on to working on our Bob Ross sketch. Or I might do the Bob Ross sketch separately. I think tonight I am taking the night off from doing anything. Has been talked about possibly doing something with our friend. He is off today. And the boys haven't gotten to do anything really. Very much. Recently because he's been busy with school. Right. So, getting this kind of brought up in here. So you can see that we've darkened it up a bit. With this new coat here. Kind of like this little design we came up with. Got some flowery guys going on in here. So I'm going to add a little bit of this peach, I think. I'm not happy that pencil line's not getting any lighter. It should have. And I thought I had gotten that pretty light, but this might also be a more transparent color. I mean, it's a little bit hidden, but you can also kind of still make it out. Okay. So I'm gonna take a little bit of our, let me rinse this. All right, let's start out with a semi-clean brush here. We'll get our peachy pink here. Melted down a little bit. I'm gonna mix just a little bit of our blush pink into this. Gonna get the piece of fuzz out of my brush. A never-ending fuzz. Alright, I'm gonna mix probably like all of that in there then. Just to darken that up a little bit. I'll tell you what, let me scrape out that. I'm gonna switch brushes here. I'm gonna grab something that's a little bit softer. It's still synthetic. Hi, Zuzu. Where's Daddy? Hi. Uh-oh, I have a dog. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, dog. Wait. Wait. Wait, dog. Where is the husband? Husband has vanished. Hi, come here. Hi, puppers. Let me see if Daddy can take you. If he even gets the message. Sometimes Discord on his phone doesn't always go through very fast. Alright, I'll tell you what. Let me go figure out what's going on. I know, I'm coming. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. They never show up together. They always show up separately.
I take that with Suzu bugging you?
It, like, Zuzu enthusiastically was like, hey, I have to pee. I just took him out. Sorry about that. That pepper has impeccable timing. All right. Yeah, you know what? I think I want this guy a little bit lighter. So I think with this color, kind of melted in on top of it, I think that'll have us looking pretty good here. It's funny too, because I was sitting here just starting to think, where are you? Because you've been gone a long time. And then next thing I know, I had thundering feet and somebody was jumping up at my side. Lo and behold, it was a Zuzu. So it's not going to make him super bright, or like, it's not going to like super lighten him up a bit, but it'll do it a little bit, because the gouache is activating, like the new layers, activating the layers underneath. That's just how gouache goes. Now, there is acrylic gouache. I know Holbein makes a version of it. I don't know if anybody else does. And that's a little less resistant to being reactivated. It says it shouldn't reactivate, but some colors do a little bit. I've seen from other people using them, depending on the color, but it wouldn't reactivate as much as like this is, or the jelly gouache does and stuff. So I don't really think you can seal gouache because of that. If there is a way, I don't know about it. It might like be the same way that you would seal a watercolor. Most people don't because it's a little expensive. I think it involves wax. And like basically buffing your painting. It's a little bit time consuming. Now I've been kind of painting over most of this, like pretty solidly. Can always come back in with a slightly lighter version of this and a slightly lighter version of the pink. And we could add some feathery guys into that. Like nothing real fancy, just some like lighter lines to kind of imply some feathers. Like I'm certainly not going for realistic here. It's definitely on the more whimsical end. All right. So this is a slightly softer brush. I mean, the other one was pretty soft too. But I just kind of wanted a little bit smaller of one also. This is one of the Arteza detail brushes. Okay, so you can see a little bit, like when you're up close, of the different colored line guys on there. And I wasn't shooting for this layer being super distinguishable. I gotta fix that eyeball.
Do you have a bladder infection or something?
Does he?
There's no way. There's no way. But your tail's wiggling.
I'm like getting really concerned about that.
You need to go pee-pee? You might also just want to go outside.
Well, his brother did just pee.
Yeah, and earlier he was trying to drag me off. He was trying to drag me off to,
I mean, he's probably bored.
Across the street.
Yeah, he kept wanting to look that, and you know what? I don't think he got to go last night, did he?
Stretch, come on, stretch.
If it makes it any faster, Zuzu peed on the trash bags. I think he's just bored at this point, or he wants a goodie. Either is entirely possible. Okay. So there's that. And let me see here. Let me dig through my layers. Do we want light apricot maybe? Or do we want to go like full on white? I mean, light apricot would be different for sure.
Yeah, he barely went, but he was awfully interested in the kid playing across the street with the dad.
Huh?
There's a kid, the dad and his kids over at the
Yeah, they're playing
court.
basketball.
Yeah. That was what his interest went to.
I mean, I can't blame him for being bored.
Yeah, I know. And I feel bad that
but
he
I
can't
don't
leave
know
the
if
house
that's
so well.
I don't know if that's what's the problem though.
I can't leave the house that well and it's freaking cold out.
He can't or you can't.
No, I can't. I'm just checking on you, Fishy. You don't have to come out. You don't have to come out.
Like, I'm just worried about him because this is increasing in frequency.
Yeah. Well, I still think that he's just wanting entertainment. Which, fair enough.
Okay, so I'm just mixing a little bit of white into this blush color. So the good thing about gouache is if it dries on your palette, just a little bit of water and you'll be able to reactivate it. So if you have like a palette that has a lid to it, you don't necessarily have to worry about using all of those colors like right then and there. Since you can come back to it if you're working on something that's gonna take a little bit. I really guess that these should be going this way. I'm kind of doing them backwards. So these will kind of melt in here, depending on how light we make it. Which can be nice at times. But I will say, if you... Momo. Buddy, I really am beginning to worry about you. But I also don't want to take you to the vet unnecessarily either. Like, I haven't seen any discoloration to his pee. So I just don't know.
No.
Did he get his...
Do you need Daddy fix it? Not getting nothing else. You gotta wait for dinner.
Does he need a cup of just crunchies?
I can try to give it to him.
Like, I don't know if he's just hungry at this point.
You said something, and I looked towards him. He started licking his lips. You hungies?
I don't know if his teeth are bothering
You
him.
need food? You hungies?
I was leaving
Yeah,
dried...
he's watching my hand while I'm holding a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Alright, hang on. Let me give you something.
So the punk's just trying to rush dinner along. Cause like I've tried leaving crunchies out for him and he doesn't always seem to go back to them.
Well, his bed was also a mess again, so it's possible he needed me to fix it.
So doing this will also bring in a little bit of movement. And it just gives it a little bit of a touch of something. Sorry, I keep moving the palette over it. Sorry about that. Like, I don't know how much these lines are showing up on the camera. They're definitely showing up in person. But at least we can get a little bit of color variation in here as well. Yeah, I kind of like that. Alright, so now we have to kind of do the same treatment to the other one. All right. So I hope everybody's Monday's going pretty well. As well as a Monday can go. You okay?
Yeah.
So did you put anything in that, or was it just...
I put food and I put a piece of turkey in there.
I think he dug that out.
Yes, he did, but
I don't know if he ate any of the rest of it. Fish is swimming around. Finny's looking kind of normal when he's hanging out around the top. Oh, what is that? Piece of fuzz. 90% of the time, it's a piece of fuzz. Okay. Getting this pulled into here. Okay, so we're getting this guy. So they both won't look completely identical, but that's okay. So, oh yeah. I can see those whiter lines pretty good. Alright, so we'll get this worked in here. I might tone some of those lines down on the other one a little bit. Gotta think about it here. So to tone those down a little bit, we'll just grab a little bit of our pink. Like our non-lightened version. And that will give our other peachy color on the other side a chance to dry a little bit. Momo.
You're all done, buddy. No, we don't have to worry about honey either.
Like, I don't think... He's not acting like he's hurting. So I don't know if he needs medicine or not. I'm beginning to wonder about his teeth, though. Because Buddy's breath fucking reeks.
Well, like I said, do what we can.
All right. That's a little bit more even, I think. Alright, so we'll get some more water into our lighter mixture here. Get that reactivated. It did dry a little bit on us here. Alright. Not sure if we need to add a little bit more white to it. We'll see. Alright, let's see. What we can come up with here. Do you think I should make rice tonight?
If you want.
I mean, should they get rice tonight?
Don't see it doing any harm.
Okay. So, get this. Do I need to make gravy tonight or no?
You know, I think I'd actually appreciate if you did.
Okay. Having pot roast tonight. Alright, so just getting a little bit more water here. So I don't know if I'm going to need to tone down this one. Guess we'll figure that out as we get this in here. Let's see, what time is it? What time are you and Tyler doing something?
Whenever we get to doing something. There's no rush on our behalf.
Okay. I didn't know if you all were waiting on me, if I needed to finish a little early. What am I hearing? Hearing something. It almost sounds like it's coming from the other room.
It's probably your mom getting her. Yep.
No?
Well, that sounds like someone scratching after going to the bathroom.
Okay, I might have been hearing feet tap then. Okay, so they don't look completely identical, but that's okay. Like, they probably shouldn't look completely identical. That's not so bad. Okay, let me see. So it's white and then black in the middle. Alright. So this might look a little bit pink. As I am cleaning up our eyeball here. Hopefully it doesn't get too out of hand. I am going to come in on that pencil line just a little bit. If only in the hopes that we can soften that down just a little. Okay. So where else did the white need to be here? Alright, so we did yellow on the beaky boo. So these Arteza ones, they are a synthetic bristle. There's a slight snap to them, but they are softer. So they're not bad if you're looking for a softer tone. I mean, like a softer line. If you're looking for something that won't have like any weird like scratchy lines. That's pretty bright. I don't know if I necessarily want like an ochre. Ochre might do. Ochre might do it. Time is it? Can't see any of my clocks. Alright, so I'm just cleaning out the water that I had sitting in the palette. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of our ochre color. Okay. So this is how we kind of colored the emotes, or at least one set of them. So we'll get that filled in there. So we're not doing any real fancy dots or anything with this one, like we did with the chicken. That's a little bit more suited for the acrylic paint. So that way we're not reactivating colors and stuff and then have them get muddy. That would be a bit of a issue. Just a little bit. I'm just going to get a little bit more of that kind of laid into there. Kind of let that hang out for a little bit. Okay, so that one did kind of take on a pinkish tone around the eye. The one eye did. It's alright. It's not the end of the world. Ow. Leaned over and my back popped. That's kind of unexpected. Did we not get black? Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, used to black being in with white. Okay. We're going to pick up a little bit of our black here. And I want to get just a little bit of water into that. I don't want a whole lot. I do want a little bit here. Alright, so while the yellow of our beaks is drying, sorry, it looked like I'd had a fuzz in there, so I was like, what is happening? Hopefully this yellow's dried enough. So I can see a fuzz in the paint that we just, in the black that we just watered down in the palette, but I can't get it. Uh-oh. Oh. Like, what the hell was that?
What was what?
My computer went badoop, and I thought OBS disconnected. Apparently Windows Defender had been running. It's like, we didn't find anything. I'm like, did you have to scare me like that? And I'm glad I didn't find anything, but I don't know why you suddenly made the noise out of nowhere and had to tell me right this second. That's not so bad. Now that might need another pass on it. Why is that being so weird? Like my eye just like kind of took off there. Oh, that's not making it any better. That made it worse. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Let's see if we can do something here. Might have to wait for the rest of that to dry. So now these will be two wet colors. Intermingling. Okay, I know it's a little gray at the moment. That's okay. We will fix it. It's going to involve a different paintbrush though. No idea why that black like freaked out like that. Kind of just started like spreading outward rather unexpectedly. I had the brush in my fingers when I picked up a different one. I was like, oh no, wait, I want that one. Where did you go? Oh, you're in upside down. Oh no. That's not gonna do. Alright, let me pop the space heater on for just a second so I can try to fix this. I'm not surprised we had a foobar. It happens. So just bear with me here a minute. I just need to get it dry enough that we can throw on the next color there. Without completely fucking it over. Just take a minute or two. To build up our white back in here and some rinsing. So the space heater will go off in just a minute. Since I am using it to speed this up. Hopefully I don't have to get any acrylic paint in here. I think we can fix this with the gouache. It's just gonna take a little bit of patience. I'm also using the mixing white, not the titanium. I might grab titanium here in just a minute. It looks extra weird because I lifted up some of that black. That guy is a little bit grayer than he would necessarily be. Let me see if I can find that titanium. It's here somewhere. Is this even hitting it? Kind of hitting it. Sorry, I'm doing this as quickly as we can. Okay, so this is the titanium white now. Alright, so we're just gonna establish that. Alright, and then come back in with the black there. Moses, what is the matter?
No, go lay down. Go.
It's not time yet, Momo.
Just go now. Go on. Go.
I promise, buddy, it's not time yet. I'm watching the time. It's getting close. It's just about there. Just want to fix this eyeball. Something about this eyeball just wants to be silly. That's not terrible. It's better than it was, I'll take it. Probably should have tried to use my dotting tools. It would have been a little bit easier to deal with that guy. Alright, let me turn that off. So it's not running right next to the microphone anymore. Again, sorry about that. There it goes. On the plus side, time we spent attempting to fix that ensured that the yellow on this beak was definitely ready to go. So we get this guy. Put it here. And this is cold press paper, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. This paper does have a slight texture to it. Alright. Well, the Flamingos are done themselves. And we got the background color kind of started to be laid in. So while we didn't finish it today, we definitely got a good start on it. So who knows, we might do an extra stream later this week working on it at night if I feel like it. If not, we'll pick it back up on Sunday. Thank you again to Keyvamp and Espercat Studios for the donation of the gouache. We are having all sorts of fun with it. And I am looking at this and realizing, oh no, that's okay. One can be a little bit darker than the other. That's fine. Realizing that they're slightly off in color, but that's okay. So we're gonna call it there now because I've got to go get dinner started or finish making it. Next scheduled stream is Thursday. We might do an extra one in between. It depends on how I'm feeling and what the boys are up to and what we've got going on. Don't know if I'll be able to make it happen, but we'll see. We'll see. So make sure that you're following here and your notifications are turned on. That way you'll get notified if we decide to go live for any bonus content later this week. And I will see you guys for sure, migraine permitting, on Thursday for Coral Island. You guys have a good one, and I will catch you later.